The position of attention will be the first position we'll learn as drum major. It's like any other position of attention as far as the military is concerned, with the exception of you're just going to add the mace into the mixture. You'll grab the mace on the staff just below the ball. You'll place the ferrule just off the tip of your right foot. You'll notice it's slightly angled out as you'll attempt to get your elbow or your forearm parallel to the deck. An alternate position for attention would be having the mace standing straight up and down. The primary or preferred method would have the ferrule just off the tip of your right foot and it angled forward, with attempting to get your forearm parallel to the deck. The next position we'll teach is the position of parade rest. Parade rest is quite simply feet shoulder width apart and the mace held by both hands at the center of the body. To get back to the position of attention, you bring your feet back to on line and touching, and also the mace will return back to your right foot just off the right toe, and you'll come back to the position of attention. Next, we'd like to talk about carry mace. Anytime you're marching forward, you'll pretty much carry the mace in your left hand. Rarely would you ever stand here alone unless you're conducting the band while they're standing fast. But most of the times, when you give that forward march, you will immediately go to a carry mace on the step off. The only time that you would put the mace in the right hand for a carry would be for cadence mace, or for these instructional purposes, we'll say pumping the mace. What this does, it sets the tempo for the band and also gives them somewhat of dynamics, and it's just like you were standing in front of the band conducting, except while marching. Next, we'd like to talk about spinning the mace, also known as a flourish. There are two basic spins that I personally use. The one that is used most commonly is called a hand-over-hand spin. The hand-over-hand, the best thing to remember is that when the mace changes hands, your palms are always facing up. It changes hands and the palms are facing up. Also, another thing to note is that your right hand is always on top. So if we put that together from the beginning, note the left hand is up, and begin the spin. A good way to practice that is with all movements, always start slow. Practice that just nice and slow so that you get the idea. You'd like to try to think about stopping that mace perpendicular to the deck whenever you're changing hands. And then as you speed it up, it'll become smoother. And here again, you'll have to think about that balance point in the mace. So right now, here's my balance point right in this area. If I were to try to spin it up here, it becomes more difficult and uncomfortable because there's too much weight towards the ferrule. All right, now just to give you another angle to give you a better idea of how the hands are working up close. Once again, the hand starts with the palm facing up, and as we spin it clockwise, the right hand reaches over the top and grabs it palm up again. Still spinning clockwise, palms up, and again the mace is perpendicular to the ground whenever it changes hands. And then we'll slowly speed this up. And here again, balance of the mace is the key. All right, when you're first starting out with the hand-over-hand spin, it's kind of hard to understand, so we'll take a look at somebody that's pretty much just starting it out, learning it for the first time. So once again, when you start the spin, the palms are up, your left palm is up, and when you go ahead and spin it once. Now reach over the top with your right hand, and now spin it clockwise. Now catch it with the thumb, spin it clockwise, reach over the top. Always remember the right hand comes across the top, and now go ahead and put it all together. Now remember, working slow at first. Your hands will become comfortable with this. It's a muscle memory. and eventually you'll be able to spin it up. But always remember, when you first start out slow. Another spin you can use is the finger roll method. I like using this one because it only uses one hand and it's really smooth looking. You'll place the mace between your thumb and forefinger and spin it around your forefinger using your rest of your hand to keep it in place. Now, you will not do this more than 2 spins. That also controls how often you're going to do it, how many spins you use. Now, with that point being brought forward, that leads us into another thing to remember as a drum major. It's not about the flash and the flare. It's not about looking like a drum majorette with all the fancy spinning. You're going to present yourself in a military manner. Army Navy Academy is a military school, and they want that sort of presence in front of your unit. So remember, it's not about being flashy, it's about being clean and bringing honor and respect to this position of drum major.